Howdy. So today I'm going to talk about social media, and if you're a business or you're looking to do something online as it regards social media, how to make a determination as to what type of social media is actually the best that you should be looking at for what it is that you do. And then I'm going to talk about these grilled cheeseburger potato chips. And this all really ties in to the last video I did where I answered a question talking about Oreos and the multiple flavors that they're doing now and if it affects their brand. And I mentioned in that video that in my opinion, it doesn't necessarily destroy the original brand. It helps the entire company because a lot of places are doing that type of thing these days. They're branching themselves out by making all these different flavors, giving people a lot of choices. And it may give the impression that it's diluting the original, but in essence, it's giving a lot of publicity to those particular companies by highlighting all these different flavors. So I then equated it to looking at social media and all the different types of social media that we have out there. So let me tell you about me. I'm getting close to 57. You know what? You just acknowledge your age. So I'm getting close to 57. There are things that I do, and there are things I don't want to do. I'm not ruling them out, but I'm not doing it. It's not just because I'm older, but it's because I recognize that I can't be everywhere at the same time. So I have 5 blogs. So I'm first a blogger. That's just what I really consider myself as. Then I do these YouTube videos. I have 2 channels, and this one here, I can pretty much do anything I want to. I like to talk about blogging and social media and writing, but I'm doing sometimes these weird food reviews for this weird stuff, and I talk about a lot of other things. And then I have my business YouTube channel. Then I'm on Facebook, and the majority of what I do on Facebook is personal, talking with relatives and friends about stuff. But I do have a business channel on Facebook, but I get almost no traction there. I'm on LinkedIn because I tend to believe that anybody who's in business or is looking to move up in a career needs to be on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn is turning into more like Facebook, and it's really irksome if you ask me. Still, it's nice to have a presence on there if you're going to do something. And one of the things I do is for 2 of my blogs, whenever those posts go live, they also post on LinkedIn. I could have them all doing that, but I decided that's a little overkill. I don't want to throw people off. And then, of course, I'm big on Twitter. I love Twitter. Twitter is where I do the majority of my marketing. It's also where I have the best engagement with people. I mean, I've talked to people all over the world at all times of the day because I don't tend to sleep much. I need to work on that, but I don't. And I love talking to people. I love to engage with people. People talk to me. And so I share a lot of stuff on there. Whenever I put out my YouTube videos, they show up on Twitter. Whenever I write a blog post anywhere, they all go to Twitter. And I share it multiple times there. I'm also on Google+. And the original reason I got on Google+ was because it was brand new and it was Google. And I thought, you know what, I need to be there. And I'm not there all that often. And a couple of years ago, it seemed like there was this little small pack of people who said, oh, you got to be on Google+, you got to be on Google+. And they were really trying to promote it. You don't hear much from those people anymore. I'm not saying that they're not on Google+, but you don't hear this strong advocation for it anymore. I don't even know if that's a word, but I just made it up. If it's not. So anyhow, these are the things I do. Now, they've now got all these live video streaming services. I tried Blab, wasn't impressed. I didn't try Periscope. Periscope seems to be the big thing that a lot of people are doing now along with Snapchat. Of course, Snapchat is a 10-second thing, and I see people doing these multiple 10-second jumps. It's irritating. Oh my goodness. I don't know how people like watching that. That just seems to blow my mind. Periscope, I guess, is another live thing that a lot of people have gotten into, and it's something that you do on your phone. And from my perspective, it might be okay, but how much bandwidth are you people using? Are you paying for all that data? Frankly, my wife and I don't want to pay for all that, so I can't see me doing it. I've not even tried to watch. You know what? That's not quite right. I think last year, one time, I saw someone I knew who put up a video, and I decided to try to watch it, and it just got on my nerve. Probably because she was trying to do that and blab at the exact same time. So instead of looking at the camera, she was looking at her phone trying to record two things at once. Okay, that's a bit of overkill. I never got to try Meerkat, or I don't know anyone. Actually, I don't know anyone who did. I don't know if there were any other of these types of video streaming things. But now even Facebook has this live streaming thing. Facebook Live, and I haven't really wanted to get into that. I have done Google Hangouts, and that used to be very popular, and now there's fewer people who are doing Google Hangouts. Yet, if I do an interview with anybody, it's going to be a Google Hangout. I may think about Skype doing something and recording it and then putting it on there, but I like being able to do it kind of live. And you can program it on Google Plus so that if someone wants to watch it live, they can. And if there's questions, if you can, manage both of them, you can answer those questions. So I kind of like that. And then there's Instagram, and I love Instagram more because I love looking at pictures than anything else. And I love to look at little short videos on there. And maybe that equates to some of the other stuff. Now you can record a video up to 60 seconds or a minute, depending on which way you want to look at that. And that's kind of neat. I don't necessarily mind doing that. I loved Instagram. But for me, that was like a plaything. It still is. I'm not doing anything there for business. And some people are, and it's just messing it up. Well, that and the fact that Instagram messed up the timeline. So I started recognizing that I'm seeing things that Instagram, who's owned by Facebook, has decided is important to me rather than stuff in order so that I know that I'm seeing everything. And that is problematic if you ask me. It's irksome, but it's something you have to deal with. Now I know there's a lot of people who use Pinterest. I just couldn't ever get into Pinterest. Everyone kept saying, oh, you need to be in Pinterest. You need to be doing something. And I said, I do videos on blogging or writing on blogging and social media, leadership, diversity. What pictures am I going to be putting up on Pinterest for that? I just couldn't conceive of anything. So that could be a failing of mine, or it just could be the fact that what I do isn't visual enough. If you're an artist or you're selling jewelry or different things like that, then I think that works out well. I know some people use it as, geez, I really want this, so let me put this up here so it reminds me that I want this at some point. You know what? That works out well. That's, in essence, it's a different type of vision board. I got a vision board on my wall over here telling me that I want to pay off my house faster and giving myself some motivational push to do it. That's how I do it. So how do you then determine with all these different things what you really should be doing? The first thing you have to recognize is how much time you actually have to get into everything. I say that because there are people who are going to tell you you should sign up for everything and you need to be everywhere. You can't do it. Not if you're by yourself. If you've got a team of people, maybe. But if you're by yourself, you just can't do it. You're going to drive yourself nuts. You're not going to get any other work done. You're not going to have any other fun. So I'm going to say throw that out. Don't do that. Try to pick the stuff that you think is important to you. So Facebook. There's over 1 billion people on Facebook. If you have something that's visual, Facebook is a great place to go. Or if you can drive people to that page, Facebook is a great place to go. But it's a little difficult because Facebook keeps putting in these algorithms that limit how many people get to see your stuff. I mean, I told you about my business page. When I was initially on there, I was getting at least, between 125 and 150 people that saw everything I pasted. Then they changed stuff up. And now if I get 20 people who see it, that's a fluke. I can pay to have it boosted, but a boost basically says, okay, now we're going to put it in their timeline, but there's no guarantee that they're going to read it. So does that benefit me? I don't think so. So there's that. LinkedIn. If you own a business or you're an executive of some type, you need to be on LinkedIn. Yes, there's a whole lot of stuff on there now that's really gotten on my nerve. The groups aren't as active as they can be, but it's a great place to search for leads. And who knows, someone may find something that you do and decide they want to talk to you and hire you or work with you. So that is important. Let's see, what else do we have? Well, Twitter. Twitter is a place where you need to kind of have a dual engagement. In other words, you need to promote yourself and your stuff, but you also need to promote other people. And you have to be willing to talk to people every once in a while. If you're not willing to do all of that, don't get on Twitter. Because one of the worst things in the world is to basically have a Twitter account and then never participate. And the thing is, with Twitter, everything moves so fast that basically if you can give it, if you ask me, if you can give it 15 to 30 good minutes a day, just a day, if you can do it even in 10-minute blocks, you know, you could benefit well from it. Companies that would work really well are brick and mortar places, because if you offer coupons or different things like that, you can pop that on Twitter. You can even automate that. And if people like it and they share it, that's how you get business. So if you're a brick and mortar business, if you're a pizza shop, if you're a vegan baker, if you're something like that, you need to be on Twitter. And by the way, you can tie that into something like Foursquare, where maybe you say, if you come to the location and you put in that you were here, we will give you a 10% discount on something like that. So there's that. Now you have Google+. And I'm going to say that in general, you don't really need to be on Google+. It had a good idea, but even the Google+ people, even the Google people aren't really doing anything with it anymore. So unless you're going to do something like Google Hangouts, let it go. I will say that there are a lot of people who've gotten on the Periscope and Snapchat bandwagon. Like I said, for me, Snapchat is irritating. But there are people who want to put these things out there, and if you don't save it, within, I think, 24 hours, it's gone. So you can put it out there and not ever have to worry about it, or you can do a bunch of these things, and if you have some kind of technical capability, you can loop them all together so you can turn it into a thing. But there are people I know who are doing Periscope 2 or 3 times a day. And I don't think there's a length restriction, and they're basically just talking about stuff. Kind of like what I'm doing in the video, except on the video, I'm doing this talking, then I'm going to upload it, then I'm going to, plan when I want it to go live. Where the Periscope thing is live. You're doing it live, and I guess you can answer questions at the same time. That's the same thing Blab was. Blab was actually set up so you could have a couple of people, but what would happen is that Blab got a lot of trolls going in there and messing things up. And you know what? There you go. I mean, if you think you have that kind of time, if you feel you're engaging, from what I'm understanding, you don't even necessarily have to be engaging. All you have to do is be willing to do a video. And you don't even have to have your face in it. You can film other stuff while you're talking in the video. I can't figure out why that's compelling, but it seems to be. I don't know. So anyhow, that's that. Those are my thoughts on all the different social media. If you have any questions, ask me about that. So let's get back to these. And they had 2 other flavors. Wise basically is a East Coast company. They're based out of Pennsylvania. And I live in Central New York, so I have bought a lot of Wise potato chips. And they were the first ones in this area to put out a low salt potato chip when I was working on cutting down salt. So I have a feeling these are going to be really salty. They had 2 other flavors. One was loaded chili cheese dog, which I was really, really thinking about. And the other one was something called taco barbecue, or whatever. It wasn't just the word barbecue. It was Spanishized. I just made up another word. But I knew I wasn't getting that because I don't like barbecue potato chips. I really thought about that chili dog thing because I do love my chili dogs. But I decided to go with the grilled cheeseburger. No idea what this is going to taste like. So let's find out. So you're here with me. Can't smell it. Okay. Lord, look at this. That's a big old potato chip. Okay, here we go. First thing, it's really salty. Second thing, it tastes like kind of a dill. So someone was telling me how much they love dill. I don't really like dill. So I can taste pickles. I can't really taste the cheese. I can't taste it. I can't taste burger, although I really had no idea what burger was going to taste like. So basically, It tastes salty and dill to me. So, no. This is going to go on the counter, totally wrapped up. This is what happens when I buy stuff that it turns out I don't like, is I wrap it up and clip it. If we have company, hey, look what we got. You guys can try this. And then let other people eat this stuff. Oh, well, there you go. Anyhow, let me know what you think about the social media thing. Let me know if you even think about getting these potato chips. And if you do, let me know what you thought about them. I will talk to y'all next week, possibly. Maybe even later this week. I don't know. Here we go. Y'all take care.